Hi, it's Dr. Rowe and welcome back to part 4 of our intro series on life purpose. And this is the last one, so buckle up, get ready, get your pen out again. Going to go through 4 key areas here. I want to talk to you about business, life and goal settings, because what we talked about so far is the motivation. We talked about the big picture, which is the purpose. We started to have a dabble of who you are and what you stand for. But we've got to kind of bring that around into a practical aspect, because if I miss this part out, it'd be pretty valueless to you, because you're going to say, well, this is all great, I'm motivated, Rowe, but I need to put that into some action. So we're going to start from a top-down process. Now, when I go into this in more detail in the main series, we'll drill this down. But what I want you to be clear on is this. Once you've got a big vision, it's like saying, well, there's the mountain in front of me. I want to climb the mountain. That's a great vision. Everyone goes, well done. They pat you on the back. They say, you know, we're in awe of you. We're inspired by you. And I'm sure all of those things come out of people's mouths when you're on purpose. And that's great. But we're not really doing this to impress other people. What we're doing is we're creating a vision for our own values. And then we have to work top down. What does top down mean? There's the vision. From the top of the vision, imagine yourself helicoptering at 50,000 feet. We can see the whole of the earth, or a good part of it. Now we need to come down to about 20,000 feet, so we're narrowing in, we can see a land mass. This is where from the vision we can start to see elements of what the vision is made up of. You've got a vision to build a successful property business, it's going to make you financially independent, for example, in 3 years' time. That's the big vision. Now we narrow down. How much income do you need to have in place over what time frame? So we start to build in more strategic projects. So now I'm saying, right, there's 4 projects around this big vision. Now we narrow down to 10,000 feet. Now we can see each project. Each project has mini projects, and within each mini project, you've got specific actions. So now we can go down from a 5-year plan down to a 4-year plan, 3-year plan, 2-year plan, 1-year plan. Hopefully this is making sense. Now the mistake that most people make when they're working on this is they basically do too many projects in a year. They take on too many projects. So they wake up in the morning, and that's another thing that can kill your sense of purpose. You might be motivated all day, you go, I'm motivated, 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 but there's too many things to do. So you spend all day doing this, and you get knackered, and you're on adrenal energy, and you don't start with anything. So we have to break it down to a reasonable number of projects. I usually say 2 to 3, that's it in a year. You might say, yeah, but I'm a high achiever, I can do bunches of stuff. Yeah, true, but something else is going to go out of balance. Now that's a whole another mini series for you. We're going to do an intro series on life balance. You might be doing 10 projects, and then you get home one night, you go in, and your husband's left you or your wife's left you. Why? Because you've taken on too much. And that wasn't in your original purpose. Your purpose was to build this for the family as well. So we go top down first. Then what we do is we have to separate it. If you're in business, I want you to start to look at how much time you need to put into your business to achieve the top-down effect. How much money do you want to achieve? We have to break this down. How much growth do you need to evolve as well? So for example, if I'm starting a business, do I need to study? Do I need a mentor? Do I need to connect with somebody? How much time do I need to put in it? You know, I'm in a full-time job, for example. I've got my family, so I might have 8 hours to 10 hours to 15 hours to 20 hours per week. If you've got that time frame, that's what we're talking about here. We're drilling from the big picture down to the small picture. Now you go back to your family, your husband or your wife, and you say, honey, you know that vision I talked to you about, the purpose we talked about, I will commit 11 hours a week to this, and that's all I'm going to commit. I promise I keep to that, and that you build your business based on that. If it takes you 2 years instead of 1 year, great. Don't try and fit it into a year if it's going to affect other areas of your life that are going to affect your health, your relationship and your life. And this is why I deal with a lot of people that are having meltdowns, because they appear to be successful with their business, but other areas of their lives have cracked as well. Which brings me to part 3 in this particular area, which is life. What are the goals that you have for your life? How much time do you want to spend with your family? What areas do you want to spend more time with your family? So for example, I'm a very big believer in making sure that if I commit to my children, I stay to that commitment. Too many people run lives where they're in a business or a job which involves them being away for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes away from their kids. Or they're spending 10 hours a day in their job and only an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours with their kids if they're lucky, and no other space to be intimate with their partner. You have to make that decision. I can't make that for you. Also, how much time do you want to spend on your health? Are you committed to learning, eating more vibrantly, you know, walking an extra 200 meters to go to an organic food shop than going to, I'm not going to give you a brand, but someone that sells burgers and sugary drinks? What are you committed to? What about relaxation time? What about your partner? When you first met your partner, if you're in a relationship, you've been there longer 5 years, and guarantee when you first met your partner, you would have dropped everything. You'd have sneaked out of work. You'd have phoned them in the toilets. You'd have arranged to meet them that evening. You'd have been excited about the passion, the love, the sex, the intimacy, sharing all these great values with that person. 5 years down the line, it's like wearing an old glove. You put them on, you go home, you sit down in front of the TV, he or she sits next to you. What's happened? You've got out of balance. You've lost that connection. This is all tied in with your purpose. So what do you want your life to look like, feel like? How do you want to show up? How much time do you want to spend with that person? Reconnect. Maybe you decide to make one romantic experience every single month because you've forgotten to do that, and you just surprise them. Then we boil it down to a daily basis. The alarm goes off. By the way, you shouldn't have to wake up with an alarm clock. If you're really on, unless you've got kids, of course, you don't need an alarm clock. Trust me, I've got a 1-year-old and she wakes up anyway. But I always say when somebody's on purpose, you just wake up naturally. But when you have no sense of, you think about it, when you're going to go on holiday and you know tomorrow's holiday day, you hardly sleep and you wake up before the alarm clock goes off. That's because you're excited. But when you're stuck in something that you're not got a lot of purpose for, you have to drag yourself out of bed. So you'll know you're more and more on purpose because you'll find it gets easier and easier to wake up. But that day you have to have some action. So you've got your job, maybe 8 to 9 hours. What are you going to do in the evening? What are you going to do as one step towards your business purpose and one step towards your life purpose? And if there was one little tip, and we'll cover this more in the main series, if there's one little tip I'd say to you, at least wake up every day and give each day a sense of purpose. Even if it's today my purpose is to smile at more people, or even if it's today my purpose is to go out and do something to improve my health today, and then another day, today my purpose is to be the best loving partner I can be, and maybe on Thursday your purpose is to be the best father you can be. Whatever it is, or mother if you're a mother listening to this, but just give each day a sense of purpose, and when you do that, you find the whole day shifts and you've got a greater sense of who you are as an individual as well. So I'm hoping through this short introduction series on purpose, you've got a sense of who I am and the journey we've got to go on. This isn't something that happens overnight, so don't beat yourself up if you've been watching this or before you watched this and you thought, crikey, why can't I just find my purpose? The truth is your purpose will find you, but when you find out who you are first. So if you've really enjoyed this and you've connected with me and you've found some of this value, and you've probably realised I've skimmed as much as I can in the time frame I've got across the service to give you some exercises. We've gone through the surface exercise and we've dipped in a little bit to give you exercises. I think you'll probably realise now that we have to go deeper, and if you really like the idea of doing that, please come and join me on the Dr. Rowe Turning Point series and look at the information that's coming on the screen. Get yourself registered, because we will be doing obviously more content with the videos, and I'll be doing interviews, and obviously we're going to be spending time looking at case studies as well. And in fact, on purpose, I've got a brilliant interview for the young lady that I met when she was 21, 22 years of age. It's really worth watching that interview. And also there's going to be live webinars where you get a chance to come in, ask me questions and say, hey Ro, I think this might be my purpose, but what do you think? I'm struggling a bit to find this. And I can actually give you some mini coaching live online as well. So my name's Dr. Rowe. I really encourage you to join me on the series. I'll see you on the other side.